Good evening. My dream is that every child will finish school on time, pursue other options beyond the high school level. The dream is worthy dream, but without talking about poverty, we can't talk about reading on level by third grade, success in school. Because poverty steals from students, children, their hopes, oftentimes their dreams. Here you see the picture of a goat. It doesn't symbolize being hard-headed, but it symbolizes another thought I have in mind. This is not a slingshot. It is actually called a yoke. On the farm, when I was raised, we raised goats and hogs on the farm. On occasion, we have a billy goat who was hard-headed, come home and he jumped out of the fence and is out running around free. It happened again and again, and eventually my dad would take wood, some string, and make the billy goat a yoke and put it around the goat's neck. Next time, the goat in the fence, he jumps toward the fence, and this part hangs on the fence. He falls back down into the pen and misses his option of being out into the real world he so desires. He tries it again, jumps at the fence, caught by the yoke, he falls back down. Eventually, he stops dreaming about being and having life outside of the fence. The goat had the same power he had before, but his belief about what he can do and should do has been changed by the yoke. For children of poverty, for them, it is a yoke. It steals their hopes, their dreams, and it causes them to not look beyond the pen of not look beyond their life where they live at the moment, as the goat did. Poverty. I'm a child of poverty. I was born in a small town, Wrightsville, Georgia, Johnson County, Georgia. In my household, there were 9 boys, 4 girls, a cousin, mama, daddy, and grandmother, and my great aunt, living in a 6-room house. No running water. We were sharecroppers. We worked from sun to sundown in the fields for a small portion of the crops at the end of the year. And a given year, for a full year's work, we made less than $1,000 as a family. But despite all of that, for me it was very, very enriching, because my parents believed that education was our way to a bright and a better future, and they instilled within us the belief that beyond the fence was their goal for us and where we could be. They stress excellence and effort. Dad was a first grade dropout, could not read, but knew the alphabet. So report card day would come along and let me see that report card. So what's that B doing there? The message was that if you're an A student, a B in this house does not suffice in this house. It applied to all parts of our lives. And the life we lived was impoverished economically, but rich culturally. And one thing that we always had got to do on Saturdays, being a poor family, we bought the truck of the boss man to go to town on the truck. And there the store there in town. We shopped. And being nice to us, the store owner, he saved my parents the older meats and the damaged canned goods. They kept us fed, subsistence. But when I see other people in the aisles buying the perfectly round, not dented cans, I began to feel like this dented can, I began to feel as if maybe I was damaged. To compound that, I was born a chronic stutterer. Up through college age, could barely get a word out in school, across camera, the kids would. I didn't respond, but deep inside, though, I began to internalize and feel, well, I'm not quite as good as Paul or Sally. But my parents reminded me and taught me that it's not how it looks, but it's what's inside of the can. And today, children of poverty, many of them feel damaged. They can't read on level, they feel damaged. They rather act out and be called bad than to be called illiterate or slow or whatever term you might use for them. Our past cross their lives daily. We must make them realize that life is not perfect. It's not always what we call fair. But we have a hand to play with our life. Play it to its fullest, to its highest level, and make the most of what life has to offer us as individuals and as people. And for me, reading was my way out. It let me dream about a world beyond Wrightsville, Georgia. When I read about Hank Aaron, the Home Run King, it let me dream. When I read many authors, James Baldwin, it let me see a world beyond where my world was and my world was known to be. And my challenge to you today is this. We have the power to make children who feel damaged be successful and to achieve. But poverty for them is a yoke. And the question we must ask ourselves, not can we, but will we? I've chosen to remove my yoke. Will you remove the yoke for children in our schools, in our state, in our world today? The choice is yours. Damaged goods are good within, and to give children hope. Because in closing, you can live without food for about 2 weeks, water for a week, but you can't live for 1 day without hope. Will you help children move the yoke of poverty in their lives? And thank you.